just real quick, I want to make another video. We're actually in Romans 3. And Paul is talking, he's still in his introduction to the Romans, in the letter. Now, when people ask what righteousness is, it's Luke 1:6. Let me just see if I can went back way too far there. Just so you can see it with your own eyes. And they were both righteous before Elohim, blamelessly walking in all the commands and righteousness of Yahweh. So he's talking about well, it doesn't matter who he's talking about. He's talking about Zechariah and Abiah, his wife. So what the church does, pastors do, when people regurgitate, is they'll go to Romans and go, see, Paul says, it has been written, there is none righteous, no, not one. There is no understanding, there is nothing. So what happens when you don't read your whole Bible in context. This isn't contradicting Luke 1:6. Remember, the Bible can't contradict itself, so it means something's getting misinterpreted. This is talking about how when people fall away from belief, like for example, before the exiles or in Sodom and Gomorrah, like they'll be, talking about Sodom and Gomorrah, and the author of some of these books will say not one of them left was righteous. So what the church will do, and certain pastors will do, will say, see, the Bible says no one can be righteous, brother. But do you see what they're doing? They're taking one or two sentences from a story that was talking about a specific time in the Bible's history when all of God's people, yes, were at that time not believing in him, not doing his Torah. So there were no righteous people left in that story at that time. Okay? It doesn't mean you can't be blamelessly walking in the commands. And blamelessly walking doesn't mean that you're perfect. It means you're trying. Okay? So, again, people who try to argue with me and I get that it's not easy. It's not necessarily easy. It can be difficult, but you have to read the whole Bible for yourself in context. And when you come across something that's confusing, the best way to source the meaning or pull the meaning out is to see how does the idea flow through the whole book, because the whole book has themes that don't contradict. So if you have something that says no one can be righteous, it's like, well, this is alluding to a certain time with certain people who didn't, who fell away, kind of. Whereas Luke 1:6 just shows how two people were acting a certain way. They were following the rules, so they were being righteous. I mean, hopefully you see the difference there. I hope I'm doing a good job of communicating it correctly. But yeah, so that happens all the time in the church. Like, I just did a video on chapter 2, Romans 2, and then I just read chapter 3, but we'll do a video on that tomorrow. And this right here gives hey, churches just love camping right here because they twist it. And see, Paul says right here, it's right after where he says, that you have to do, you say this, but right here he says, no, it's just completely twisted. So we'll get into this. But even at the end of this, which we'll read tomorrow, let me just get a quick preview. Do we then nullify the Torah through belief? No. We establish the Torah. So